Welcome to another Tuesday night trading post. Time and place for us to get together and talk about the stuff we all need and use, the necessities, you might say. And as far as useful, I can't think of anything much more useful than a pocket knife. So tonight we're talking about pocket knives. Now before we get too far into this, I just want to say, I know some of you are very, very serious about your pocket knives. We're getting into sacred ground here for some of you. And I understand that because some of you, you're in fields that the stuff you have on you that you carry with you, your everyday carry items, you've got to be able to count on it. It could literally cost someone their life, if not cost you your own. So law enforcement, military, first responders. Y'all have a different level of expectation in terms of quality, functionality, durability. I understand that. All right. And then there's some of you that you're into activities that you really have to be able to depend on your knife that you have with you. So mountain climbers, you get hanging off the side of a mountain and ropes, and you might need a knife, and it's got to work well. Sailing, a lot of us don't think about all the ropes and lines that are involved with sailing, but that can be important with sailing. Scuba diving. I mean, there's a lot of different things that some of us do that having a knife that you can count on no matter what, that's important. And then there's the rest of us. Okay, so for a pocket knife, most of us carry a pocket knife because it's convenient. And yeah, I mean, for myself, it's not life or death if my pocket knife breaks. So I don't have that same expectation of quality and durability. I don't need a knife that's absolutely as rugged as it can be and it's going to work no matter what, come hell or high water. I carry a pocket knife because it's convenient. Right, so with that said, I just destroyed my pocket knife recently and I had to buy a new one. This is a replacement. And the things I said about a knife having to be tough, dependable, all that stuff. This knife's none of those. It's not tough, it's not dependable, it's not durable. But it's the most useful pocket knife I've ever owned. Period. Yeah. So let's see what we got here. And what we have here is a Victorinox, old Swiss Army knife. Yeah, I never was really a big fan of these until I got one. And this particular model, the Tinker, I don't know why they call it that, but that's what it is. This has been the most useful knife I've ever owned. The handiest, most useful knife. All right, we've got just a regular old blade. It's decent. I mean, it's nothing special, and there are many knives out there with a much better cutting edge than this, a much better blade. It's reasonably sharp, but I can put a really good edge on it, and it will hold a edge. It's just not the best blade ever, and I wouldn't trust my life with it, but it works. And as soon as I touch this one up, it'll be really sharp, and anything I need for cutting, it's going to do a good job. And then we have a little small edge here, a little backup, I guess. Again, nothing special at all on the cutting edges. But then we get into a bottle opener. Now, I don't exactly use a bottle opener very often, but it's got a straight edge screwdriver on the end here. Okay, that comes in handy. Really handy. And then we've got a can opener. Again, I don't use a can opener too often. I've used it a few times, but we've got another straight edge screwdriver here. This time a small one. So we've got a small and a large straight edge screwdriver. Those come in really handy. And that's for this side. For the back of it, we've got a Phillips. Okay, now that comes in, I can't tell you how many times I have used this Phillips just out somewhere, wherever, and I got a loose screw. And so often it's a Phillips. What you can get by with a small flathead screwdriver or something on a Phillips, maybe sometimes. Having a Phillips with you at all times, though, this has been priceless. And then we've also got whatever this is. an awl, I guess. I don't know. I know you can punch holes in leather and sew with it, put thread in the string and pull it back through. Never used it for that. But I have stuck this in plastic and turned it and then cut little holes in the plastic. You know, punched little holes through thin plastic. Surprisingly, a good bit. But anyway, I have no idea what the tool is. Don't care. The big thing I'm worried about is the screwdrivers, and especially this Phillips here. But then to the flatheads, again, large and small. And when I need a knife, this cuts rope, it cuts twine, it cuts anything that I have needed to cut. I wouldn't trust my life with it, but it's worked. Now there was a time I would have never guessed I'd be carrying a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Truthfully, I never liked them, and they always seemed gimmicky and kind of flimsy, and they are. This is not that quality durable knife. The steel in it, I mean, it's okay. It's for a knife, it's not great by any means, but it works. And the way I ended up with this was just like so many other things, just luck and happenstance. And a really good friend of mine, Bill, I don't think y'all have met Bill yet. I need to fix that. He's a character. Y'all will appreciate him. But Bill gave me a pocket knife some years back, and it was his late father-in-law's. It was an Ulster Boy Scout knife. It was made in the 50s, maybe 60s. And his late father-in-law carried it everywhere. Well, I was going to stop by a hardware store and get a knife. Bill said, well, I got one I'll give you. Because Bill knew I'd appreciate it and take care of it. I loved that knife. Now, it was a quality knife. It was 2 or 3 times the weight of this one. I mean, it was just absolute quality knife, solid as it could be, high carbon steel blades. And it had similar implements as this one. It had the bottle opener, it had the can opener, and it had the flathead blades on it. I was amazed after getting that knife and having carried it, how useful it was, how handy it was, having those blades. Well, I ended up losing the knife, as so often is the case with a pocket knife. Yeah, I hate that one. Matter of fact, let me just back up and tell y'all this story, because I think it's worth telling, because this kind of says a lot too, because I didn't lose it, it was stolen. Mrs. River graduated a few years back, and she got her master's degree. And I went to her graduation. You know, she's happy and proud, and I'm proud of her. And we go to her graduation. It's at a large university at a stadium, and it's raining that day. Well, she's already inside with all the graduates, and I'm outside in the line. And we go through a metal detector. All right, well, when I'm in line and I see the metal detector and I see them taking people's pocket knives, yeah, I realized, okay, I got a problem. I have my pocket knife. I didn't go anywhere without my pocket knife, my Ulster Boy Scout knife. And I could have carried it back and put it in the car, but we'll just say the car was some distance away. I wasn't going to be able to get to the car and get back in time for graduation or for the start of it. So I seen everybody setting their umbrellas alongside the walkway so that they could pick them up on the way out, because they wouldn't let people come in with umbrellas either. I can't tell you why, but anyway. So, okay, I'll set my umbrella over here off to the side, and I'll just put my pocket knife under it, and then after the ceremony, I'll grab my umbrella knife. And okay. Well, got inside, went through the ceremony and all that, left and come out. And the first thing I did was went straight to that umbrella, and I couldn't have cared less about that umbrella. I wanted my knife. As soon as I saw the umbrellas, I noticed somebody had rearranged them. Apparently security had come through, and they weren't orderly enough for someone, so they made them more orderly. And as soon as I picked up my umbrella, my knife was gone. They took it. They stole it. They can call it whatever they want. They stole my damn knife. Anyway, which the reason I wanted to point that out is because that says a lot about our society right now. A grown man can't walk into a stadium with a pocket knife. Keep in mind, it was a Boy Scout knife. That was literally the knife people used to give to children. So we went from it's okay for children to have this knife to a grown man can't carry it. That's because we're a society of pansies right now. And I'm really biting my tongue on language, but they stole my knife. I was not happy, and I'm still not happy. So I needed to replace it. I had to get another one. I mean, anyway, they took my knife. Well, I was amazed at how much I loved the implements on it. The flathead screwdriver, mainly, the small and large tips. So I got to looking on eBay, and we'll just say they hadn't made that knife in a long time, but there's so many of them out there. I could still find an Ulster Boy Scout knife. I could have bought one almost in good of a shape. That knife was in great shape. I could have got another one in pretty good shape, just like it. But I noticed that there were quite a few times that I really wished that it had had a Phillips head on it for Phillips screws. Well, when that one was made, Phillips screws weren't a thing. Well, then I got to doing some more research and checking and digging and so forth. And then they actually made an Ulster Boy Scout knife with a Phillips head. It was a newer model, but they're very rare. They're hard to find. But I did manage to find a couple. And they were pricey, but I didn't care. I really liked that knife that much. The problem was they were all pretty old and used. And every one of them I looked at that had the Phillips head, the teeth were broken and stripped out. Just like a screw, a strip out and you tear the head of it up. The teeth were torn up. And every one of them I looked at was that way. Which tells you about how much they got used. They got used a lot. So I looked and I looked and I looked, and finally I stumbled across this one. And I said, okay, yeah, I'm not big on Victorinox and Swiss Army knives for all the reasons I gave, but I'll try. All right, so I bought this one, or one like it, and I was just amazed at how much I loved the knife. I mean, now with all of that said, for those of you that still can't believe I'm carrying a Swiss Army knife, I do know a little bit about edges and sharpening, and I do have an appreciation for fine steel. And anybody that fools with woodworking, well, that's just part of it. You have to know something about sharpening edges and so forth. So yeah, I do know a little bit about that stuff. And I know this isn't good steel, but it works. And this is just the handiest little old knife. And yeah, and it hurts me to say it because I do have an appreciation for good steel. With that said, like everything else, if I'm doing something I got to depend on a knife. I'm carrying a fixed blade like this old buck here. A little Pathfinder. All right, so if I'm out, skinning an animal, that type of thing. Fixed blade. If my life depended on it, I'm going with a fixed blade every time. They're pretty much indestructible. Okay, and I know there are better pocket knives. All right, so we got all kind of options now as far as lock blades. Okay, I get that, and this is a lot better steel than this. And this ain't the greatest, but it works. And then there's some, you know, some lock blades that are made out of really good steel. The old K-bar that I carried forever. I carried this knife a long time. That's a good piece of steel. This knife will take an edge. It'll hold an edge. It's solid. It locks. It's still not as dependable and durable as a fixed blade, but it's a quality knife. It just isn't convenient. And that's why we carry pocket knives. That's why we don't carry fixed blades. And we can just throw a pocket knife in our pocket, and it's just as convenient as it can be. And that's what I've come to appreciate about the Swiss Army here, that it is so convenient, and it's just handy. And it tends to work when I need it. And as far as the extra features on, I guess you would call this the first multi-tool. And this is a lot more convenient than your standard multi-tool too, by the way, which is, again, why I carry this. These little features work. So, and the whole convenience factor, if I'm out somewhere and I have a radiator hose blow loose, I can use this and I can tighten up a hose clamp on it. Well, if I didn't have this or didn't have a screwdriver, then I got to walk back to wherever, get a screwdriver, come back and then fix it. That's not convenient. This doesn't have the screwdrivers. I could make this work, and we've all done it, and we've all been there. All right. And the reason I say all that is because I struggle with carrying this myself, and truthfully, I'm looking for a better alternative. And I talked to a buddy of mine when I was making this, and he said, hey, if you're doing pocket knives, you need to take a look at another one. So, let's do another unboxing real quick. And we have here a Leatherman Free T2. And this got my attention because this general, concept is the tinker from Victorinox. But Leatherman always tended to make things a little stouter, a little more heavy duty. And all right, we got the blade. And not a bad looking knife here. It's not the prettiest either, but hey, it's what we got. That blade's a little short, but it's a lot thicker, a lot stouter blade than on the Tinkerer. I think it'd be more durable. And that's what got my attention on this for somebody that needed a more durable, really handy, useful knife. This might be a better option. I don't know. I hadn't tried this one. I just got this to experiment with and try it out and see. But it did look like a little heavier duty version. All right, so we got the knife blade. It's decent. Drop point design. It's short. This should work though. Should work well for just simple, rope, twine, that type of stuff. Then and it locks. I like that. So then we got, we got an awl here. These must be really popular on these type knives. I'm not sure exactly why, but see an awful lot of them, and that's for your thread. But this also has the small flathead screwdriver tip on the end. And again, it locks also. And these you push up on the end, and they got some kind of magnetic assist in here. And I don't know how that's going to work. It sounds like it's going to hold a lot of chips and stuff, but I'm trying it. All right, so we got the bottle cap opener, the Phillips screwdriver. I don't know about this design, but it's probably pretty functional. And then finally we have a multi-tool on the end here. We have an even wider flathead screwdriver. We have a package opener, so there's actually a little edge here for opening packages. Plus, this is a pry bar. All right, so for those paint cans that we all want to use our knife for, That's what this is for. I don't know how well this one's going to hold up, but I'm going to try this one out and see. It seems to be a little stouter than the Victorinox. I think this is going to be a little more dependable, a little more solid. We'll see. But that's the whole point of the Tuesday night trading post, is for us to get together and talk about these things. I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm just saying, for however many years I've been carrying a knife, probably since I was 5, I've learned a little bit about knives and so forth, and this has just been the handiest one I ever had. It's not the best by any means. I'm hoping this will be a little bit better and still really handy. And like I said about the convenience thing, we're giving up ruggedness, durability, and functionality and quality to get convenience with a pocket knife. I don't know what the balance is there. So maybe some of you have some better alternatives, and maybe some of you have found some better knives out there with better quality steel for the blades and edges and so forth that are still in production besides my old Ulster. Something better than this. But so far, this is the best I've found. So that's where we're at on these two, the Leatherman Free T2 and the old Victorinox Swiss Army knife. And I'm going to leave links at the bottom for both of these, affiliate links for Amazon. And that's one of those, I really debated on whether or not to do an affiliate link like that. I'm against buying things. I like to promote not buying things and saving money, and I'm against materialism. All right, so for me to say, hey, look at these, you can buy these at the bottom, just click there and go spend your money. That just feels wrong for me. At the same time, I think I've given about as honest and truthful a review of either of these as you could ever ask for. And if you are in need of a handy pocket knife and want to try one, they're not that expensive. So I think the Swiss Army Victorinox was $22, taxes and everything, and the Leatherman T2 was about 40. A little over 40. And most important of all, neither one of these are made in China. This one's made in USA and this one Switzerland. Matter of fact, I better look on that. You can't assume anything these days. Swiss made, okay. So yeah, I got links for both. And what I'm gonna do, and this is why I decided to go with affiliate links, and I'll get a commission if you buy anything through those links. If you buy these two knives through those links, I'll get a little tiny commission, and I do mean tiny. And the size of my channel, I ain't gonna get rich. Don't worry about that. But what I want to try, again, that's the whole point of this Tuesday night trading post, is for us to exchange ideas and try to figure out, okay, what are the best products, the necessities we need, what are the quality things out there. Okay, and I'm sure there's a bunch of knives I'm not aware of. There are so many right now from so many quality manufacturers that there's no telling who has what that I don't know about, but with so many of you, one of you are probably going to know some better options. Well, I'm hoping to be able to make enough off the affiliate link to be able to buy one of those better options, and then later on come back, hey, somebody recommended this. All right, this is the best pocket knife now. This is where we're at. We're going to try it and see. That's, if I make, a few bucks off the affiliate links to be able to cover the price of trying other stuff as we're experimenting and learning, okay, I think it's worth it then having an affiliate link for such things. And in Leatherman T2, I hadn't tried it. The Victorinox, I've been carrying one of these for a few years, so I don't believe in recommending, I hate recommending products to anybody, because just as soon as I recommend something to somebody, they get one and it's just awful. You know, they've changed something or something. So I just really try hard not to recommend anything. In this case, for 22 bucks, yeah, I would recommend this to anybody as far as being a handy pocket knife. So that's the reason for the affiliate links, and that's my thought process behind that. I think that covered it for pocket knives for the moment. Hopefully in the future, I find something even better after getting some recommendations, and then we'll revisit this topic. Okay, this is the best pocket knife now. And for those of you that noticed, it's not Tuesday in this Tuesday night trading post. Yeah, this is Thursday. We changed it. I'm still calling it the Tuesday night trading post because I'm filming this on Tuesday. I had mine originally just coming out here to the shop every now and then when I had a chance, and us talking about, again, necessity, stuff we all need and use, and stuff we're going to buy no matter what, because we do need it and we do have to replace things every so often. Well, it's Tuesday for me. I didn't think about, okay, I'm going to have, because I'm doing this after work, so this is just a few hours in the evening. I didn't think about, oh, I'm not going to have time to edit this after I film it, and I still got to get it uploaded. I didn't think that far ahead. It's a spur of the moment, seemed like a good idea at the moment. So in the future, all Tuesday night trading posts are on Thursday. Yeah, I didn't see no point in changing to Tuesday. It is Tuesday for me. I think we covered it for now on pocket knives, and I'm also always looking for ideas on what's next. And I did read the comments before, and I did mention flannel in the last Tuesday night trading post, and we're still going to get around to that at some point here real soon. It just seemed like the perfect time for a pocket knife, though. So God bless, and y'all have a wonderful night.